Hey, Lady Eagle Tennis. This is Coach Davis, take 4. All right, so thank you for the players who watched the video or parents, and thank you for the players that let me know that it did cut off right after we talked about quarantine. So this is part 2 of the video, okay, and I'll send out a group meet tonight telling everybody to watch it. So I don't want to re-record. YouTube has been acting funny, and it might not get through the whole video. Put a part 2 on here. All right, so again, as we start practice on Tuesday, again, we'll be following Clay County Health restrictions and guidelines and the LPS operating procedures. So part 1 of the all the way down through quarantining yourself if necessary, you or your family, or if you've come in contact with anybody. Numbers, so which is important, and this is the assignment. So players, you need to email me to basically RSVP for your spot at our summer workout on Tuesday. So again, according to procedures, we can 50 players and coaches, 50 people in that practice facility area. So we need to make sure that we can do it all in one practice. If we have more than 50, then we'll just divide it up into 2 practices, and we'll go to 10 and 10 to 11. But then we also have to allow time for the players in the first group to get out before the second group comes in. So again, we have to keep track of numbers. We have a requirement. We have to be under 50. So that's why all players need to RSVP me. Okay, you can't group me because the group me isn't reliable, the email. That way I can make sure I get it. Okay, all right. So for I think through the month of June, we've got to keep track of that 50 number, and then after that we'll be at 100, which will be fine. Okay, hygiene steps that we'll be taking. So first of all, no sharing of equipment, okay? So you can't share tennis rackets, you can't share water, can't share towels, so on and so forth, okay? So bring your own personal equipment. Again, the coaches, we're encouraging you to bring your own water and bring a towel so that you can wipe your face off with sweat and stuff with the towel, okay? There will be water out at the courts. It is working. I just checked on it today. So you can refill your bottles, although it's kind of warm water, but it's still water. Okay, obviously keep your hands away from your face at all times. No hand contact with other players or coaching staff, so we'll bump elbows or we'll tap rackets, or we'll find something else to do. We will have industrial strength hand sanitizer that you have to do before you enter the court tennis complex, and then at the end of practice on your way out, okay? You can also sanitize your hands at any point during practice, during water breaks, and so on and so forth. You can bring your own hand sanitizer as well. I think some players are going to wear a glove on their non-dominant hand so that if they touch the ball, they can touch it with the glove. Again, all that is fine. And then, of course, we'll be social distancing. So all players, again, it's just going to be a little bit different, but just remember that we need to keep that 6 feet space apart, which we generally do because we're swinging rackets, and we want to give space so that nobody gets hit with the racket. So usually we have a bubble around each of us, which is about 6 feet. So we just have to remember, especially on our water breaks, that we keep that social distancing intact. Okay. The coaches will be monitoring space. Okay, so we will be monitoring how many players are on a court, how many players are on each side of a court. What we kind of think we can do. Right now I think if we can do 6 to a court, should be very easy to social distance. That's 42 players. Okay, and I think we could even go 8 to a court and still keep social distancing fine. That'd be 4 on each side, and we do that when we play doubles game and so on and so forth. So 8 times 7 would be 56. So I think anywhere from 42 to 56 players, we definitely accommodate at one point and make sure that social distancing is intact. Okay, our facilities will be sanitized frequently by our custodial. I went up there also today, and it had been cleaned already. Trash had been dumped, and you can tell some things have been wiped down and so on and so forth. So just know that will be a part of LPS's operating procedures as well. Practices are optional. So again, I've already had contact from one player whose family does not feel comfortable with them attending practices at this point, which is perfectly fine. Okay, that's absolutely fine. We want to encourage you to do what you and your family think is in the best for you and for your safety. So again, there will be many different players on the spectrum here, but just know that practices are optional at this point. We highly encourage it, and we want you to be there just to get the team back on the courts and going. But you are welcome at any point that you feel in this reopening phase that you're going to be comfortable and your family will be comfortable. Okay. So, we're not going to hold it against you. There are no consequences or anything like that for not being with the team. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And then just know that the coaching staff will be working hard to reinforce all expectations and health measures put forth by the CDC and LPS, and how those change and evolve again in the fluid situation. Okay. So, players and families, please watch this. If you have any questions, please feel free to email or contact me or Coach Hoffman or Coach Anderson with your questions or concerns. And then players, make sure is to email me. As of right now, this video, it is 6:30 on Sunday the 14th, Sunday before practice. I have 31 players RSVP through email that they will be there. So we are getting close to that number, which is fine. We just need to know if we need to divide practice into 2 parts or not. Okay. So RSVP me. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you have your personal equipment. Okay. Your own racket, your own water, your own towel. Again, there'll be no sharing of anything get there. So make sure, whatever you need, you bring. And then we'll see everybody Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Okay. Let me know.